The Darkness Under the Bridge. The story of Clifford Enwar Orji. In the mid-1990s, under the roaring flyover of Oshodi in Lagos, where buses honked, traders shouted, and the air carried the scent of roasted corn mixed with exhaust fumes, a man lived quietly in the shadows. His name was Clifford Enwar Orji, and for years, Lagos would speak that name in fear and disbelief. No one paid him much attention at first. He was just another strange man under the bridge, tall, gaunt, bearded, sometimes shirtless, his eyes darting around like he was lost in his own world. Some called him madman. Others called him a native doctor. He introduced himself sometimes as Chineyalu, a spiritual man who could cure sickness or bring fortune. But beneath the disguise of insanity and poverty, Clifford hid one of the darkest secrets the city had ever known. Clifford was originally from Enugu State, in southeastern Nigeria. He was said to be born around 1965 or 1966 into a modest family. Like many young men of his time, he moved to Lagos, the city of opportunity, to make a living. For a while, he sold razor blades, walking through markets with small boxes, calling out to customers. But Lagos can swallow men whole, and somewhere along the line, Clifford began to change. He drifted toward the underbelly of the city, the places where law fades and survival becomes instinct. He took residence under the Apapa-Oshodi Expressway Bridge, a noisy and chaotic place filled with street children, traders, and wanderers. He built himself a shelter out of wood and old tarpaulin. To some, he was a lunatic. To others, a mysterious herbalist. To the police, eventually, he would become a nightmare. On the morning of February 3rd, 1999, Lagos awoke to news that spread like wildfire. A woman had been found near Clifford's shack under the bridge, barely alive, injured, and bleeding. A few passers-by, curious and alarmed, gathered around. When the police were called, they entered Clifford's dwelling, and what they found there would haunt them for years. Inside were human body parts, some fresh, some cooked, skulls, bones, pots of meat, and female underwear littered the small, filthy space. On a wooden table, police reportedly found a check of 80,000 naira and a mobile phone, strange possessions for a man believed to be homeless. There were also charms, amulets, and spiritual symbols. Clifford himself was arrested on the spot, along with another man suspected to be his accomplice. News spread through Oshodi like a storm. Crowds gathered, shouting, crying, spitting in disgust. The words cannibal, madman, ritualist echoed through the streets. At the police station, Clifford reportedly confessed. He told investigators that he had been eating human flesh for about 7 years, long before coming to Lagos. He claimed that he and his partner targeted street hawkers, especially young girls with permed hair, because, as he put it, their meat is tender. According to his own chilling account, his accomplice would lure the girls with the promise of buying their goods, and Clifford, the self-described butcher, would then kill and cut them up. Sometimes he cooked the flesh for himself. Sometimes he claimed he sold it to wealthy men who sought spiritual power. Whether that part was true or a desperate lie, no one could ever prove. But the discovery of cash and checks suggested he wasn't just living off madness. The press went wild. Headlines screamed across Nigerian newspapers, "Cannibal caught in Lagos, man who eats human flesh, arrested under bridge." For weeks, Lagosians avoided the Oshodi Bridge. Mothers warned their children never to walk there again. The air was thick with fear and disgust. Clifford was taken to court, the Ebute Meta Magistrates Court, but the case never moved quickly. He was remanded to Kirikiri Maximum Prison, awaiting trial. Days became months, months became years. He sat in his cell, isolated, muttering to himself, sometimes laughing, sometimes silent for hours. Prison officers began to report strange behavior. Clifford would talk to invisible people, refuse food, and walk around naked. He smeared feces on his walls and shouted scripture at night. Medical officials declared that he had become mentally ill, but no psychiatric hospital was willing to take him. They said they lacked the facilities for a long-term criminal case. For 13 years, Clifford remained in that state. A man once feared across Lagos, now reduced to a broken figure locked away, waiting for a trial that never came. On August 17, 2012, prison warders entered Clifford's cell and found him dead. He was 46. The official report said he died of natural causes. There was no family to claim him, no trial ever concluded, no victims' graves properly marked. The case ended as quietly as it had begun, with questions, confusion, and fear. Shortly before his death, Clifford had actually filed a lawsuit from prison, claiming unlawful detention without trial. The case was dismissed after he died. The system had kept him alive but forgotten, a man trapped between madness and justice. Even after his death, the story of Clifford N.W.A. Orji refused to fade. His name became a warning in Lagos folklore. The madman who ate human flesh, the cannibal under the bridge. Taxi drivers told his story to passengers at night. Parents whispered it to their children as a cautionary tale. Some say he was a victim of mental illness, misunderstood and abandoned by the system. Others believe he was a cold-blooded murderer who hid behind madness to escape the law. His hideout under the Oshodi Bridge still stands in memory, known by locals as the Clifford Orji Enclave. Even today, that area is whispered about, a place once haunted by evil. Clifford's life leaves behind more questions than answers. Was he truly insane or just pretending to be? Did he really eat human flesh, or was he part of a deeper network of ritual killers? Why was his case never tried, never resolved? In a country where myth and truth often blur, Clifford Orji became both a man and a monster, a product of Lagos's forgotten underworld and a reminder of how darkness can hide in plain sight, even under a bridge filled with noise and light.